Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name's Nick, I live in Australia and I wanted to do a step-by-step tutorial on how you can create your first Google Ads campaign. I'm going to show you absolutely everything a beginner would need to know from start to finish, whether you are an e-commerce store or a local business. Today I'm going to focus on a local business that I'm running ads for, which is a tow truck company, but all these same things apply. So I'm going to show you exactly step-by-step how to create your first Google Ads campaign. Okay. So let's get into the video, guys. Before we get started though, please subscribe to the channel. I'm releasing lots of content consistently now. And if you want more value and more information on how to run Google Ads and how to market your local business, please subscribe, hit me a thumbs up and leave me a comment letting me know what you think of the video. Okay guys, so the first thing I want you to do is I want you to go to Google and just go create Google Ads campaign. It's going to take you to a screen. You're going to click on it and you're going to be able to create your Google Ads account. Once you do that, it's going to take you to this screen here. A lot of you, I imagine, probably have already started to try and create a campaign and have got to this screen here, okay? So this screen here is going to make you create a Google AdWords Express account, and that's not good. We want that extra level of control, and we're going to click Experienced with Google Ads, okay? So click that. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we are going to create an account without a campaign. So Google obviously wants us to create a campaign right away, but there's lots of bits and pieces we need to set up to make sure we get started on the right foot and don't have any issues with our campaigns. Google Ads, to succeed with them, you need to be doing all the correct stuff at the start. Otherwise, you're going to have a world of trouble, guys. Okay, so make sure you fill in your business information here. Before you are able to run campaigns, guys, you are going to need to set up your billing information. Okay, so to do that, you're going to want to go into Tools and Settings. You want to go to Billing Summary, and you're going to want to come in here, fill out this information, and add your credit card details here. Press Submit, and then you will be able to start running campaigns. Okay, so now we've got that out of the way. Let's get into the meat of the video. Okay guys, so this is your Google Ads dashboard. Everything you need is found in here. Obviously we don't have anything yet, but once we get some information rolling, you're going to start to see this fill out, okay? And you'll have information on your clicks, your cost per impressions, your cost per click, and all those different things, how much you're spending. From here, guys, once you've set up your billing information, I want you to think about a specific goal. Whenever you run Google Ads, you need to have a specific goal in mind, okay? If we start this and don't have a goal in mind, it's very, very hard to know how to set this up without knowing where we want to go, okay? So let me use this tow truck business as an example. Now, here is their website. I've actually built a landing page for this ad. A landing page just basically simplifies a website and diverts the user's attention to a specific goal. I just wanted to show you their website and what they do. Guys, these are a tow truck company. They do things like emergency towing services and things like that. They obviously get a lot of their leads either through phone calls or through people filling the contact us or request a quote or sending them an email. Just to let you know, these are the sort of things you need to know. What do you want to do? Do you want phone calls? Do you want messages? Do you want inquiries? What is it that you want? If you're an e-commerce store, do you want sales? Which you obviously do. So now that you have that in mind, we need to actually set up events in Google Analytics to be able to track whether or not things are coming from our ads specifically. Because if they aren't, we're kind of flying blind and we don't know if we're spending our money efficiently and in the best possible way. So without setting these things up properly, you don't know if your ads are working properly, or if you're getting inquiries, you might be getting them organically. So you need to make sure you set up Google Analytics. So I'm going to quickly show you how to set up Google Analytics and then how to link it together with Google Ads. So to do this, guys, just Google, create Google Analytics account, click on this top one here, Google Analytics. Now, obviously I have a bunch of Google Analytics accounts set up, but it's a very, very quick one screen setup and you'll be able to set up that account. Okay, so once you have that, you're gonna obviously come into here. You're gonna need to install the Google Analytics code on your website. I have a video showing you how to do that. I'll leave the link below, but for now, basically, we're gonna want to set up some conversion goals that we're gonna be able to track in Google Ads, okay? So this way we know if someone clicks our ad, did they come to our website and complete that event through our Google Ads. Analytics is gonna show us. So guys, our first step is gonna be, we want to link our Google Ads account and our Google Analytics account. So how we do that, we go into here, the admin in the bottom left, we click Google Ads linking, and we find the account that we want to link and we click it. We go continue, We click all website data, so that way we start tracking everything, and we click link accounts. Our account is now linked to Google Ads and we can import metrics. So just click done. Okay, so let's head on back into Google Ads for a second. We'll be back in analytics shortly. So now that we're back in Google Ads, we click the tools and settings. We go to linked accounts. We now go into details here at Google Analytics. We find our Google Analytics account, which you'll need to match the number and name. We go here and we make sure we import site metrics, okay? And then click save. Now it's fully linked and we can pull in the data from analytics into Google Ads. So we're back in Google Analytics, guys, and what we want to do is we want to go into data collection and we want to tick remarketing on. This is so down the track we can remarket to people and overlay audiences, which will improve the performance of our ads greatly, okay? Not many people show this, but this is an important step. Data retention, that's all on. Done, done, done. We head back down here, and before I continue, if you're an e-commerce store, come into e-commerce settings and enable e-commerce and enhanced e-commerce, okay? So make sure you have those so you can properly track your e-commerce data. For this account, let's not do that. Now we're gonna go into audience definitions and audiences, and this is gonna allow us, we click that next step, add destinations, and we want both analytics and ads. And what this is going to do, guys, this is going to allow us to, down the track, remarket to people. So show the ad to people that have already visited our website or already visited a specific page or spent a certain amount of time. So this becomes super powerful down the track, and I definitely recommend doing it. Click enable. Okay. And in here, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to click all users. 30-day duration is fine. You can extend that out if your audience is small, and just go all visitors 30 days. Next step, add the destinations and publish. So now I've created an audience. Let's go back and set some goals here so we can import these into Google Ads. Okay, so for this particular web page, as I said, I've built a landing page, okay? I want people to call this business or contact for a quote. Either of these I want to record as a conversion in Google Ads. So each time someone clicks this button here and contacts us for a quote, it's going to take them to a page. They're going to fill it out. And then what's going to happen is it's going to take them to a thank you URL. Okay, this thank you URL is a really easy way to set up. Is an easy way to track it because it's quite easy. We can just create a goal and call it thank you page, and we select the destination because our URL is going to equal to or begins with whatever one you want to do, regular expression, and we can just go thank you. Okay, we're not going to assign a value, and we're just going to click save. So now we've created a goal. We can now import this into Google Ads. Okay, please do not miss this step. It's very, very important. If you don't set up these goals, you're going to be flying blind. You're not giving Google any information to continue to optimize for. So these goals are important to set up. And a few other things you might want to set up are things like clicks, time spent on a page, how many pages they viewed. But this thank you page is the most common one I find. Another one you might set for your business is if someone reaches the contact us page or fills out a contact form to set a goal, that then really relays back to Google, okay, someone's filled out the form, that ad, and they came to us through that ad. Okay, back in Google Ads now. Click tools and settings, and we're going to import these conversions and also set up some other ones. So click conversions, plus conversions. And what we're going to do is we want to set up a few. We want to set up a phone call one, and we want to set up an import Google Analytics. So let's set up the import, click Google Analytics, and we're going to import that event that we just set up, okay? Import and continue. And this is going to import the goal from Google Analytics, and we're going to be able to track it within here. Now, the next one we want to set up is let's set up a phone call one as well if you're a local business, and there's a few you might want to set up. I recommend setting up at least the calls from extensions for call-only ads and clicks on your number on your mobile website. These are going to be the two most common ones. I'll just quickly show you how to do that. We're going to call it that. Phone call from extension. We won't use a value for this. And let's go count every call length. Depends what you consider a call. Even 30 seconds is fine, I find. leave it 30 days, including conversions, yes. Now, attribution model, something not a lot of people cover. Last click basically means that the ad is only going to record a conversion if it's the last thing clicked, which isn't ideal, especially if you're marketing across multiple platforms. I recommend doing something like position-based or time decay. My preferred one is time decay. Time decay basically is going to give more of the conversion to the events that happen closer to the track. So if Google is the last event, it might get 60% of the conversion. And if you're also advertising on Facebook, Facebook might get 40, or your organic search might get 40. Okay, so click create and continue, and we're done. Okay, you've completed a very, very important step. Now we're going to head into and create our first campaign. Okay, now when you come back to this screen, click on the campaigns here, and then click this blue plus symbol to create your first campaign. Now, as I said, this is going to be focusing on search only in this campaign. Okay, so for this campaign, guys, what we're going to select is, what do we want? Do we want sales leads? We want leads for this particular campaign. So let's click leads. But if you are wanting sales, click sales. If you're wanting product brand consideration, click that. I normally suggest that you stick to choosing whatever conversion event it is that you're chasing, go for that. If your account is new, you might want to start off with website traffic or product brand consideration. Now let's select leads and select search. And from here, we're going to select, we want website visits. We're going to put the website in here, and we're going to click continue. Now, name your campaign, something that you're going to remember. Make sure you untick Google Search Partners and untick the display network. I'm going to be doing a whole video on the display network, and Search Partners, guys, is going to bring you in a lot of useless traffic. In fact, sometimes it starts bringing you traffic from other countries, not something you want. So just click here, show more settings. If you want to set start and end dates, this is where you can do that. And I'm going to show you this in another video. Dynamic search ads are another quick and easy way to get up and running. So if you click that, it's basically going to create dynamic ads based off your website and the index you've submitted to Google. We're going to leave that one for now. Now, locations, make sure you come in here and choose your locations. There's a bunch of things you can do. I suggest not doing all countries and territories, even if you are running an e-commerce store. The reason for that is you're going to find a lot of countries get you a lot of clicks and don't result in sales. So stick to the countries and locations you know work for you. If you're a local business, you can come into here and actually just put in. So if you are servicing a particular city, you can just do a location or radius. So say if you put a radius, here we go, and go 4216 in Australia, you click include, and it's just going to draw a radius around the suburb, okay? Or what you can do is you can put a whole city and include that. So this is just going to do a 20-mile radius around that city. You can go to a granular level of detail, guys. If you know that you get a lot of your sales from a particular postcode, put in that zip code and target just that area. I've had clients before where we knew that their service was only bought in quite affluent suburbs, so we just targeted those suburbs. Now, for the purposes of this campaign, we are going to want to zoom into here, and we are servicing this area here, okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to put a pin here and drop it here, okay? So this is roughly the area we want to target. We might actually do a few more and chuck in some of these cities later, but for now, I'm just going to click save. So make sure you select the languages that people speak in what you are targeting. So this is going to target people with language preferences, okay? So based on their Google information, it's going to show ads to people that have that preference. Now, for the purpose of this, let's just select English, but if you target other countries, make sure you select those languages. Okay, this is what I said before. Here's where we can overlay audiences once they start to populate, okay? This is quite advanced stuff, but what I recommend is just clicking observation if you have enough data, and what that's going to allow you to do is you can bid higher on people that have already visited your website. Like you might want to bid 100% more for people that have visited your website, or you might want to bid 200% more for people that have visited your cart page, or 300% more for people that have bought from you before. So a cool little idea, guys, that you can implement that's going to give you a better return on your ad spend. Now, your budget. Your budget you can work backwards from. So we're going to do keyword research and we're going to find out what our average cost per click is. But I recommend starting on something small and slowly working your way up. Now, obviously, you know your marketing budget, but I do suggest that for most people, you're going to want to spend a minimum of $10 to $20 a day and preferably upwards of that. So I find that, especially in some competitive industries, if you have something that's got a cost per click of say $5 to $10 and you're just doing a $10 a day budget, then you're only going to get 1 to 2 clicks a day. So for the purpose of this, let's just set this to $50 a day. And bidding. What do we want to focus on? At the start, when you don't have any conversion info, you're probably going to want to select just clicks. But once you start getting conversions, guys, you can switch to something like conversions. My favorite strategy, to be honest, is I like to select manual CPC and I click enhance CPC, and down the track, I optimize for conversions. Okay, so that's what I like to do. At the start, you're probably not going to have enough information to do that, but just select manual CPC for now, guys. The reason I recommend this is you want to have the control at a keyword level. Okay, we know that certain keywords aren't going to bring us as many sales as others, so we want to bid higher on those keywords that do better. Some of the other automated strategies don't give us that control. If you're just wanting something easy, just select maximize clicks and set a maximum CPC bid of start off on $1 to $2. Depending on your industry, you may need to creep that up over the time. For reading data, I've got lots of videos on that. Subscribe to the channel and you'll find lots of videos on how to read your Google Ads data. I'll leave the links below just so you guys can check it out. But for the purpose of this, let's set it to $1. Now down the track, what you're going to want to do is you're going to see that your ads perform well during certain times of the day. And during those times, you're going to want to leave the ads on. You might find that in the early hours of the morning, you can switch those ads off and increase your performance by not spending money during that time. Google, however, is pretty good at knowing, so you're probably not going to have to do that. Now, ad rotation, optimize prefer best performing ads. You can leave that on as a beginner. Personally, I like to switch that off and have the control, but please leave that on if you are a beginner. Okay, ad extensions. Another piece of the puzzle that people miss. Ad extensions basically make your ads stick out and help you get more leads and help you get more conversions, okay? Because basically it adds additional things to your ad. I'll jump into Google Ads and try and find some for you, but I'll also help you set some up here. Let's jump into here and go tow trucks and see if anyone else is using them. Okay, so this here is an extension. It's the Google My Business extension here that shows you the address. Let's see if we can find any other extensions. Okay, here's another extension. So these are site link extensions. They're actually linking to a particular part of this website. Okay, so if you click this, it's going to take you to this part of this website. And the good thing about doing this, guys, it makes your ad stick out more. See here, if your ad doesn't have this, it's much, much smaller. And so these extensions help your ad pop more and help you increase your click-through rate, which is a big factor in your ad's quality score. Okay, so we're going to create a site link to our ad. Click new site link. Since we want more leads, let's go contact us. Contact us for a free quote. No obligation. So we've put the URL there. Guys, go through and make 2 or 3 at least of these. The more the better. Google's going to rotate through them and it's going to help your ad pop more. Just click save. So call out extensions, we can add some of these as well. These are just things that make your business pop out. So if you are an e-commerce store, you might do free worldwide shipping. But for this company, 24/7 towing services, licensed drivers, aggressive truck fleet, and things along those lines, like over 20 years experience. Another really important extension, especially for local businesses, is the call extension. So we obviously want people to call us. So click new call extension and just put in the number here, guys. So select your country. For this, let's select Australia. We'll grab the business's phone number and put it in here. Just make sure you make it look exactly how you want and how a phone is going to be able to read it. So something like that will work perfectly. Now that's enough extensions for now. Let's click save and continue and we can create our ad groups. Now, before we get into this, guys, I want to speak to you about ad groups and how you want to structure your campaigns. So this is how I like to think of it. Each ad group needs to target a very, very specific set of keywords. So how Google Ads work, people search things, and we need to match what they search with a relevant ad and then a relevant landing page. Now, the more specific you can be, the more likely it is you are going to get conversions, and the more likely your campaigns will be profitable, because Google will reward campaigns that are relevant and accurate to what their users are searching for. So, for example, with this, what I would like to do is I'm more than likely going to do 4 separate campaigns, more than likely. There's a few ways I could do it. Each campaign targeting the different services they do. So, emergency 24-hour towing, insurance towing. Each of these is probably going to be a different campaign. Alternatively, I can make each of these a different ad group and just focus each one on a particular goal. So I can do one campaign that might be for calls only. The other one might be for inquiries through the form. Just make sure that you structure it very, very succinctly. Whatever you do, each ad group needs to only have a small number of keywords. Now, if you don't have much time to manage this, you can add more keywords here. It's just going to slightly reduce your performance. If you're a professional managing these, you want at some points to target very, very, very specific keywords. This ad group might be emergency tow truck. And all we're going to target in here are the words emergency tow truck, okay? And our ad is going to say emergency tow truck, and that way we are going to be very, very, very relevant. But guys, to make this work properly, we want to do something that's called keyword research. Now, to do keyword research, guys, there's a bunch of different ways. You can actually just use this little tool here. It's actually a pretty good one. It allows you to quickly come up with some ideas. Each of these needs to obviously have its own ad group or its own campaign. How you want to structure it is totally up to you, but just remember you need to have a certain goal in mind. What do I want to achieve? And then you also need to keep in mind that each and every ad and keyword needs to be relevant to what people are searching for. So for example, you would not just want to put in the word towing. If you just put the word towing and then added also flatbed tow truck and car towing service, it's very, very unlikely you're going to be able to tailor an ad that's perfect in all of those. Equally, if you run a business with multiple different categories, if you run a furniture store and you sell beds and you sell lounges and you sell dining tables, if you put all of those in an ad here, you are going to get bad results. What you would do in that instance is you would do this one as mattresses and then add mattresses. Now, I'm going to get into match types in a second, but you wouldn't put the word just mattresses like that. You would also put in the exact match, mattresses for sale, things like that, and you would add these to their own ad group. From here, you would obviously do another one where it might be lounges or dining tables. And in here, you would add the relevant search terms relating to these. Okay, for the purpose of this business, let's continue with this and I'll show you how I do some basic keyword research. There's going to be more videos that I release on keyword research, and I do have some already on my channel. But for the purpose of this, let's just use this little section here. There is a tool here you might want to use as well, guys, called the Keyword Planner. I'll briefly take you into it and show you what you can do with it. What I suggest you do is find a competitor that's doing a good job in your space, grab their URL, and you want to click Discover New Keywords. Start with a website, okay? So what we're going to do is let's find a competitor or even our own website and see what keywords come up when we scan the site. Use the entire site normally, or use that exact page if it's something very specific, okay? And now we get a bunch of ideas for keywords here, okay? And there's lots and lots of different ones. It gives us the average monthly searches and things like that. So we could structure a campaign based on cheap towing, on light and heavy, tow truck service, just tow truck, Gold Coast tow trucks, light and heavy. There's a bunch of keywords in here, guys. The other thing you can do is you can go to grouped ideas. And when there is enough search volume, it will actually give you ideas here and group them. For this particular business, nothing came up, but you're going to find for a lot of businesses, Google's able to automatically group things, and you can actually just download those keyword ideas or plug them straight into a campaign. Let's jump back over here, guys, and I'll show you how to use this little section here to do some very basic keyword research, okay? So let's try and group these into a few different ad groups of what we're targeting. So let's do towing service, and this can be the ad group name, towing service. And what we're going to target is, we're not going to do broad match. You see broad match, which is just the word written like that. We're going to do at very least broad match modified, which is plus towing plus service. It's going to only show these terms in that order. If we go towing service, it's going to show everything relating to that, and that's not what we want. We also want to do phrase match, so towing service. Also want to add the exact match, which is towing service. And you might leave it as simple as this. Sometimes this is all I do, 3. The other way you can structure your campaigns, guys, is you might want to do each different campaign for each service, and you might put your different match types in different ad groups. That's another way I have done it as well, and that works quite well. The reason I do this towing service is I can now create an ad very, 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 very specific to towing service. Now let's come up with a few more. What have we got here? Okay, so Gold Coast towing. That might be another term we target. All right, so here we go. Tow truck Gold Coast is what we will do. So for this is quite a big phrase, so let's just target the phrase match and the exact match. Now a different one we could do, if we want to get really granular, we could make one for Gold Coast towing and then another one for cheap Gold Coast towing. For this, let's just put in cheap Gold Coast towing as well. Try not to have more than, like, say 8 to 10 keywords. I like to even keep it around 3 to 5 ideally. And now back in here, towing services, we might actually add towing services Gold Coast into this and add it like that. Another thing I want to note on keyword research, guys, this is the lifeblood of your campaign. You need to spend some time doing it and actually making some groups. Now, if you're running this for someone else, I suggest you try and get into their account before running this and see what's working. If you've run them in the past, go and have a look. What keywords seem to have led to conversions for you, or what keywords had a high click-through rate? Play around in your Google Analytics, play around and have a look and see what your competitors are doing, and do some deep research as to what's working and what's not, and then focus on that. Now, another campaign, another ad group, we might focus on 24-hour towing Gold Coast. Okay. There we go. We've got a bunch of words there, and a cool little tool I'll quickly show you. It's called Adwords Wrapper. This allows you to change the match type of keywords. So you can come in here and select which keywords you want to use, which match types. We paste this in here and we go wrap keywords. It's going to give us the keyword. So let's grab all of these. Wrap keywords. This is going to change the match type for us, and we can go in. If you want modified phrase and exact for all of them, that's there. I think that's too many. Let's just go for the phrase and the exact. We'll copy this and we are going to paste it here. Here we go. Now we can click save and continue and proceed. So now we want to create an ad for each one of our different ad groups, okay? And these need to be specific to the words we're targeting. So for towing service, in the headline for the first one, I want to put towing service right there. And whatever suburb it is that I'm targeting, if it's Gold Coast, it's towing service, Gold Coast. Or towing service, Northern NSW, Northern New South Wales. And let's see what the competitors are doing there. Towing, Northern NSW. Great thing is about this one is actually no one's even targeting. No one in here is actually even running ads, or they're targeting people, obviously, that are in those locations. So what are people doing? Tow truck near me, call us now. Okay, towing services from $47, from $77. Fast, reliable, and affordable. Fast, reliable, and affordable. Okay. 24/7 towing, licensed drivers. in here, you can choose what displays here, okay? It's not gonna change where your ad goes, but it's a nice little way to actually make your ad even more relevant. Towing service, and you can leave it at that. And now in here, you put a description as well that you want to elaborate and expand on why people would select your ad and your business, okay? So let's have a look and see what some of the competitors are doing in this space. You know, let's just, for the purpose of this, let's just copy this. But basically the idea is we want to make people click our ad. Now, the most important bit is the main headline. So these headlines here. And just note, guys, that the last one quite often gets cut off. So I would put the most important information at the start. Put in your URL, make sure the final URL is correct, and click done. So with the ads, guys, you want a minimum of 3 here because it's going to give Google the ability to optimize your ads further, because it's going to be able to test 3 different types of ads and see which one works the best. And the reason you want to do this is you don't know which ad is going to perform the best, which headline. So you want to do quite a few different ones. You want to test different headlines here. So test a few different headlines. I normally just change the first and second one because the third one often gets cut off. And then I do play around a little bit with the description. You can also do different ads if you're testing different pages. Like you can split test whether you run something straight to your website or to a custom built landing page. But make sure you set up 3 of these guys so you're able to split test different ads and then eventually come to an ad that's gonna work the best for you and your business. So a little bit more on the description. The description needs to build on what's up here and again, contain keywords that we're wanting to use. So if this is a towing service, we could say something like over 20 years towing experience. We're using the word towing there in Queensland. We can continue to build it and go available 24/7 for emergency and accident towing, because this service needs to obviously be available 24/7 because accidents on the road happen all the time. So just be wary of the length of the title here. We'll just leave it at that. And again, description number 2, keep using the keywords as much as you can. So new fleet of tow trucks and fully licensed, experienced drivers. Something like that. Try and use and fill out the full number of characters. So done. And then another one. If you're testing towing service in New South Wales, maybe we test here. Maybe we'll go best towing service NSW and just leave it at that. Okay, so in the second headline, we might want to do here over 20 years experience. Accident 24/7 emergency and accident tow. Done. Save and continue. Okay, congratulations. You have just created your first campaign. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to jump into another account that's been running for just on a week because I want to explain to you what happens next. A lot of these videos on YouTube, they tell you how to set up the campaign and then they leave you blind, okay? Or they lead you on to the next video. I want to quickly tell you what to look for and what to do. So I'm going to jump into an account that's been live for just over 1 week and just explain to you what I would do during that week, because I like to let it run for a good week at least before even touching it, before even looking at it. But let's jump into this account and I'll talk you through what you're wanting to look for and what changes you're wanting to make. Okay, so I'm just here in a gutter protection company. So basically these people install things into the gutters of your house to stop leaves getting in there and overflowing. So another local business, obviously a bit different, but same principles apply here, guys. So this is the first week. Now, this is a very high cost per click category. As you can see, the average CPC is $5.75, so it's quite expensive because it's a high ticket service. People are willing to spend quite a bit on this. You know, each one of these installs might be worth, you know, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 or more, depending on the size of the house. So, what are you going to want to look for? I've got 2 campaigns running here. One for Brisbane, a city, and another for the Gold Coast. So here's another way to split out your campaigns. You might want to do it by city or location basis. And they're basically identical. They're bid on a few different keywords that are suburb specific, but they've got multiple ad groups within them just like I showed you before. What are you going to want to look for? The main metrics I like to look for at this point in time is, are we getting impressions? Because we want to be getting impressions, otherwise our ads are just not delivering. So that might mean we may need to increase our bids. That might mean that we need to add keywords or focus on different keywords. Now, the beautiful thing about this campaign was someone was already running this and they were already getting conversions. So I picked the words that were converting the best and I added them to the campaign. Now, what are you going to be looking for? As I said, impressions and clicks. Are we getting any clicks? If we're not getting clicks, then we need to start looking at why we're not getting clicks. Why are we not getting impressions if we aren't? And then from there, we focus on our click-through rate. Are people clicking our ads? The higher the click-through rate, Google's going to reward you because your ads are going to be relevant. Now, I need to dig into this and go, okay, why are we only getting 8.23% click-through rate on the Gold Coast, but in Brisbane we're getting 12.85? Are we bidding too low on the Gold Coast? Is the Gold Coast more competitive than Brisbane? Or are some of the suburb-specific words not accurate? These are the things that are going through my head, guys. This is you want to come up with a bit of a process and a checklist and come through, and I'll be providing you with that in following videos. This is just a really quick overview. After 1 week, dig into your campaign and what's going on. Okay, so we've only had 3 conversions here, which I'm happy with given the time frame. 4.35% conversion rate, 7.69. So like I said before, 8.23%, I was at first a little bit worried. Why is there a difference in click-through rate? But you know what? This ad's converting better, so I don't mind at this point. From here, you want to start looking at your lost impressions share metrics. Lost impression share means the impressions you missed out on due to different things. So obviously, Brisbane is a much bigger city. We missed out on a lot more impressions due to budget. You see, this one's here due to budget. And what that means is you can increase your budget and know you're going to get more impressions. Now here, my budget might be too big because here's the other thing it could be. The Gold Coast just may not be getting enough searches of what I'm presenting. And that might be why I'm getting more conversions, which is a good thing, right? I'm getting more conversions. I want to get Brisbane to that point, but obviously being a much, much bigger city with, 6 times the population, 5 times the population, it's going to be a lot harder to make it work there. So as you can see, I'm starting off quite high and then going down further. We've had no phone calls yet. This is another thing that these guys are wanting. So we do want to make sure that we are tracking the phone calls. So as you can see, I start off quite broad. I start off at the campaign level, look at the top line metrics. Are we getting clicks? Are we getting impressions? What's our click-through rate like? Are we getting conversions? If we weren't getting conversions, that's when we dig in deeper. Like for me right now, I go, okay, I can probably just look at the bids. It probably is too early to tell for anything more. Haven't had enough clicks. You want to remember that you need a decent amount of clicks before you can make a decision. After something's got 13 clicks, I can't make any decision based on that because it's just not enough clicks. 46, we're starting to get a bit more, but again, not enough clicks. This is going to need at least another week before we make any significant changes, and maybe even 2 weeks before we make any kind of serious changes. Now, where it says limited by budget, you might there go, okay, I can actually increase my budget here. Or you might tell your client, look, you're limiting your campaign's potential by your budget. What you can also look at is Google makes recommendations. So it gives you an optimization score, okay? So you can go into each one of these and have a look at the recommendations. Take these with a grain of salt. A lot of people will worry about them and try and always get it to 100%, and it's just not necessary. It'll actually give you suggestions for keywords and also bidding strategy changes. I recommend that you can play around and test these, but stick to the ones I've showed you. So stick to things like manual CPC, enhanced CPC, if you're just starting out max clicks. But if you're at max clicks, eventually you're going to want to change. I do not recommend target impression share, and Google always recommends it. Please don't do it. Have a look at the keywords they recommend, and make sure you don't install all of them. A lot of the time it recommends broad ones, and you probably don't want to be doing that because look at this, straight away, leaf gutter, 24 pieces gutter brush. Like that's just not something that I want to come up for. These people are installing it. Gutter guard installation Brisbane, yeah, that's potentially one I want to add. It's a relevant term. It might get me more impressions. It might get me more conversions. So if you do want to dig in deeper, this is what I would do, guys. Jot down what you're worried about. So in Brisbane, we might go into this and go, okay, we're losing impressions. What's going on? Let's jump into the campaign. Let's look at each different ad group and which ones are performing and which ones aren't. Okay, so which ones are getting the conversions and which ones aren't here. So gutter guard's giving us conversion, gutter shield is giving us a conversion. We've spent a lot in block gutters here. We've spent $100 and it's given us nothing. So we might go in there and I'd probably drop the bids here. And that's definitely what I'm gonna do. So this one in particular, I'm gonna drop the bids across the board here, select all 24. I'm going to decrease the bids here by 25%. because I'm just not seeing any kind of result there. So Google's going to actually recommend you and tell you what the first page bid is here, guys. So you can look here, $8.97. Now, so you can actually edit these columns here, guys, if you want to add more metrics. And there's a few that I'll take you in greater detail in another video because I don't want to make this one too long. But one I like to look at is quality score, guys. If I see a low quality score like 2, I'm probably going to turn this one off. Even though I've tried to make the ad very relevant, it's just not getting enough impressions. It's not being shown. It's just not delivering a good result. Now, we haven't had enough clicks or impressions here to start to give us a quality score on all of these. So again, you might need to wait another week or 2 before you make any serious decisions. But this is the stuff you want to be looking at, guys. Quality score, click-through rate. You just need to drill deeper and deeper. So obviously you then go down to the keyword level, and then you also would look at your ads. Are my ads performing? So let's look at the ads here. Let's go into a different ad group and go which ads are working and which ones aren't. So let's go into GutterGuard. That's another one where we've spent the most amount of money. And we can go, okay, what's given us the most number of clicks? Here. Now, what is our quality score? So I also focus, if I've got a high quality score on something, sometimes I may bid even more on that. So a really important column that you would want to add is estimated first page bid, estimated first position bid, estimated top of page bid. Add these in and it's going to tell you exactly what you need to bid to be at the top of the page, to be the first position. So that's going to be the top ad. So to beat all ads, you need to bid $6.67 on this word. To just be on the first page, it's just a mere $2.19. But obviously you can see there's a big difference. Estimated top of page bid. So just to be in that top of page, there might be 4 ads in there sometimes, but to beat all ads, I need to bid $6.67. That tells me at $5.81, I might be bidding a little bit too much on this. I might not need to bid so much. Now go through that process, guys. Go into each ad group and do that. And from here, you can then also go into search terms. Okay, search terms are what terms are actually triggering your ads. So you're bidding on keywords, but search terms are what people actually type in. So if you've got a broad match keyword, something might come up. Okay, hedgehog gutter guard Toowoomba. That might be something we want to remove. Valley gutter guard for roof tiles. We might want to remove that one as well. When there's specific brands mentioned, I often like to remove them as well, guys. I find that if someone's searching for that specific brand, they're probably not looking for yours in particular. Now we've looked at these, add these as negative keywords. Negative keywords will be a video in and of themselves, guys. But after one click, it's very hard to say whether or not these keywords will convert. So let's just leave them. But if you did want to add something as negative, you just click this, add a negative keyword, and click save. And it's going to, if someone types that ad, this again, your ad will not trigger. From here, as I said, it's definitely early days, but you'll see that certain ads are going to be performing better than others. See, this ad here is doing much better than any of these down here. So Google is favoring this and it will keep showing this one. But interestingly, this ad here has given us more conversion. So that gives you a pretty good idea of what you need to be looking for, within the first week or so of your ads running, just so you've got a bit of an idea on what to go on, what metrics to look at. So before we finish up, guys, I want to show you the landing page that I built for the tow truck company to make sure that we maximize our conversions. Now, this is going to give you an easy little blueprint on what to build if you want to do something for your business that's going to improve your conversion rate. The idea of landing pages is we want to be improving that conversion rate and making the best use of every single advertising dollar that we spend. Before we finish up, I want to show you the landing page that I have built for this and the reason I've built it this way. This is a very, very simple format that you can follow, having logo, phone number, title, their services, an image about the business, contact us for a quote. We want multiple spots for them to be able to contact us. We don't want to just leave it to chance and just have one. Why choose us? Give them a bit of information about the business, testimonials, and then again, need a tow, contact us here. And that's all. We've removed the header, the footer, all that nonsense, and all the distraction of the website. So if we go to their website here and go home, there's so many things going on. There's multiple phone numbers, there's these banners, accident, and it looks different on mobile as well. There's all these irrelevant images, especially if someone's calling for an emergency tow, they're probably not towing their machinery equipment, not relevant to them. And then again, so much distraction. So ideally, guys, you'd want to build a landing page for insurance towing. So in here, I would put the title insurance towing. I'll do one for 24-hour towing, roadside. Very, very easy to do that in ClickFunnels. You just duplicate the page and create it again, and it's fine, and you just change the URL within Google Ads. So it's super simple. You just need to make sure that you remove distractions, you keep the page simple, and you divert them to the goal you want to achieve. If it's phone calls, make sure you have the phone number and the phone button there ready and able to be clicked on mobile to contact you. Okay, so I hope this has helped, guys, giving you a bit of an idea of what to look at once you've run your first campaign. Try not to make changes too early, and try not to make frequent changes. It freaks out, it resets it, and it makes it go reset and go back into learning phase, okay? And that means everything has to re-optimize, so avoid doing that. Try and batch your changes. Do all your changes either once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month, depending on what your budget and risk levels are. Okay guys, that concludes the video. So as I said, this is going to be the first of many videos. This just covered off search. I want to go into greater detail across all of Google and do massive tutorials just like this one to give you the value you deserve, okay? I want to give a lot more to this community, and I want to grow this channel, and I hope you grow with me. This is going to help you set up a campaign step by step from start to finish, and then I've also told you exactly how and what metrics to look at to make a successful Google Ads campaign. Please let me know in the comments below if this has helped you. Give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff, guys. And if you're interested in more videos, I'm gonna leave a bunch of more links down below. I've also got a Facebook group if you'd like to join that. And within that, I've actually got a free e-commerce course for Google Ads. It's going to grow into other areas of Google, but I hope you join that and make use of it. I could be charging a lot of money for that course, and I'm not. It's totally free just for you guys. Now, thanks so much and have a great day.